What does the future look like? On this episode of Masters of Innovation, you'll find out as we travel to the NASA Ames Research Center in the heart of California's Silicon Valley. Here, space-age technology gets green.
It's the Jetsons made into real life.
It's tomorrow's launch pad, but you can see it right now. NASA innovations have landed robots on Mars and even men on the moon, but it also has practical applications a lot closer to home. Here at the NASA Ames Research Center, some of the agency's top minds are repurposing technology once meant for space to make things more sustainable right here on Earth. Today, we're going to see projects that will revolutionize air travel, change the way we think about building design, and make the morning commute faster and greener than ever before. And we'll see how NASA is partnering with Silicon Valley startup companies to bring these futuristic technologies to the market soon. It's out-of-this-world innovation aimed at protecting the one planet in this galaxy that we can't live without, Earth. Michael?
Hi.
Jim Brasher.
I'm Michael Marlaire from NASA Ames Research Center.
This is ground zero for the future.
Today we have about 70 partners on site, universities, industry, some big industry, some startups. Google's a big partner here, for example. What we do is have an R&D and education campus to accelerate those solutions that society needs. We want to hear what they have to bring into NASA to accelerate what we're doing. At the same time, one of the reasons NASA exists is to disseminate what we have learned.
I like to think that you have sort of a fast track going on here for the advancement of technologies.
We take great pride in being able to accelerate those technologies to help the American people.
How do you feel about being the center for all of that?
If you come in as a startup and we're talking about what you want to do and why you want to do it here, and you tell me I'll change the world in 5 years, I want to hear that.
We all know that greener car travel can help reduce our environmental impact. But what about greener air travel? Well, here at NASA Ames Research Center, a program is underway that will actually make plane rides cleaner, greener, and more energy efficient.
Watch for traffic.
It looks like we're in an air traffic control tower.
This is a simulated air traffic control tower.
NASA stands for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, and aeronautics is still a big part of their mission.
The aeronautics angle is trying to improve atmospheric flight, going places faster, higher, farther, more efficiently. Demand for aviation keeps increasing. We're kind of getting to be at the point where we're at capacity, so NASA's research is looking to try and expand the capacity to accommodate the kind of growth that we're looking for. We're building new automation to help air traffic controllers and pilots do the jobs that they do more efficiently.
Clear for takeoff.
What can make something more efficient, more eco-friendly?
What would be the most efficient thing you can do from a standpoint of saving fuel when you're coming in to land?
I would probably say not having to throttle up and throttle back, throttle like driving in stop-and-go traffic for a car.
Yeah, exactly, Jim. The ideal scenario would be coasting in. That can be done today with today's modern avionics. The problem comes in when you are flying into a congested airport, to a very busy airport. So if you really want to make a difference in this, you got to be able to do these operations in congested environments.
That sounds like something that small little piece of the puzzle could really cause a dramatic change in this industry.
We think we can make a difference here.
To see just how NASA can make that difference, I met up with Rich Koppenbarger. He introduced me to a concept NASA calls Efficient Descent Advisor.
So what we're doing here is simulating a new air traffic control technology that's designed to allow airplanes to fly continuous gliding type descents all the way down to the runway.
How will it make it easy for a pilot and an aircraft to descent smoothly all the way and come in and save fuel?
What we do is to generate accurate trajectory predictions, not just for the arrival airplane, but for all of the aircraft in the airspace, including the overflying airplanes as well as the departing airplanes. So if we have these very accurate trajectory predictions, then we can plan strategic solutions.
And those solutions are paying off. In EDA trials, larger aircraft saved over 1,000 pounds of fuel and decreased carbon dioxide emissions by over 5,000 pounds per landing. This is a standard system that they're using today.
This is a standard system. It's very representative of what controllers are using in today's air traffic control facilities.
The air traffic controller screens will look familiar to them, except for the blue EDA symbols they can click on for more efficient descent advisor information.
So I'm going to click on the EDA portal. The computer is computing a solution. What comes up is a box with the clearance instruction that will be conveyed to the pilot by voice. What I would say is American Airlines 649 EDA clearance, maintain Mach 0.75, slant 250 knots. And so that sounds obviously very cryptic, but
pilots understand.
But pilots understand it.
Do they have to put the pilots through any training with this?
For the most part, this is very intuitive for the pilots. What they do is to take this clearance and enter it directly into their flight management system. This is the computer that guides and controls the airplane.
On board, right.
On board. We also hope that it reduces the stress and the workload that pilots and controllers experience on a daily basis, which can be very significant.
How soon do you see this being standard across the board?
Anywhere between 3 to 8 years. That's kind of the target that we're
pretty
we're
fast.
looking at. That's pretty fast. Certainly when you think of large government agencies working together and collaborating on new technologies, hopefully we'll get this deployed relatively soon.
I'm sure you will. Next on Masters of Innovation, space-age engineering comes to the workplace and gets green.
It's the first time that this NASA technology has been used on planet Earth.
One of the ways that NASA is applying space technology to making the planet more green is with this one-of-a-kind smart building. It's called the Sustainability Base, and we're about to find out what makes this the office building of the future. Stephen?
Hi, Jim.
How you
Welcome
doing?
to Sustainability Base.
Thank you. First, tell me, what is a smart building?
It's a building that manages its energy very effectively. This building, when it's all finished and it's tuned properly and it's working the way we're designing it to work, will actually generate more energy than it uses and put that energy back into our grid.
To make a building that efficient, you have to start with designing an energy-saving structure. I noticed on the outside you have some grating.
That grating and a number of other design elements in the building are designed specifically to prevent glare and excessive sun penetration into the building when we don't want it.
From the ground up, Sustainability Base is filled with energy-saving ideas.
There's another very interesting feature about this building. That's NASA technology that we're embedding in a building on planet Earth. And it's the first time ever that this NASA technology has been used on planet Earth. We're taking drain water and shower water. We're treating it through this interesting osmotic filtration system that we've developed for the space station. And then we're going to use that water for toilet and urinal flushing in the building. This building will use 90% less potable water than a traditional, conventional building of equivalent size.
Around traditional buildings, landscaping can have a never-ending thirst. Not here.
All the plants that you see here are native to this area. They require minimum irrigation. If you were to look at a traditional landscaping, like at the other building over there, which is 60 years old, it's got these beautiful green plush lawns. Those lawns require about 1 million gallons of drinkable water, potable water a year per acre of lawn. This is the new kind of landscaping, which is very functional as well as aesthetically pleasing. So you can see right away the narrow footplate of the building with the natural light streaming in from both sides. The overhead lights that will be installed in the ceilings, we're going to have to use those lights, turn them on, the equivalent of about 40 days a year. And that's it. The rest of the time, the natural light will be sufficient for people to work very comfortably in this building without having to turn on the overhead lighting.
The lighting system is not the only system in the building that maximizes natural resources. The AC is also all natural.
We drilled about 130 geothermal wells right nearby. They're sunk down about 130 feet. At that level, there's a constant temperature, and in our case, that's about 58 or 59 degrees centigrade all year round. We're going to pump that water through the copper tubing, and the ceiling panels are perforated. There's lots of little holes. The cold air is heavier than the warm air below.
So it'll sink.
It'll sink through those holes and passively just cool the people below it.
Calculating the heating and cooling needs of Sustainability Base will be a computer with a geek-worthy name.
We're building what we call an intelligent adaptive control system for this building. The computer will be able to open the windows and close the windows. It will be able to turn on or off the water pumps or the radiators for the heating. It'll know when to adjust the shades. So if the southern part of the building at noon is letting in too much heat, the computer will automatically close those shades. So this is an intelligent adaptive control system, parts of which we've developed for other purposes. Now we want to bring that back to planet Earth. And our intent is, when this building has reached at the end of its useful life, 50, 60 years from now, we can recycle everything that's in the building. Wouldn't it be great if every house and every office building in the country, in the world, could have something like this sometime in the future?
Think about how much better that would be for the environment, how much more energy we could save and use that more purposefully in other avenues.
It's bringing NASA technology back to planet Earth to benefit the people of planet Earth.
It's not just NASA technology that can make the Earth a healthy planet. It's also NASA research. Here at the NASA Ames Research Center, one program could be the first green answer to toxic oil spills. And it all starts with mushrooms. And research scientist Ken Cullings has become the master of all things fungi. All right, what were you just toying with right there?
Mushrooms. We're looking at mushrooms for applications to environmental technology, cleanup technology, and biofuels, things of that nature.
Well, how would a mushroom come to play in something like that?
Well, they have the ability to break down toxic products.
A mushroom?
A mushroom does. Their job in the environment is to break down wood.
Okay.
These types of mushroom-forming fungi. It took about 50 million years for something to evolve that could break down the complex compounds within wood, and the mushrooms are it. It forms what we call a mutualism, a mutually beneficial relationship. The trees receive all of their nitrogen from the fungi, which are breaking down compounds in the soil. And the fungi then receive all their carbon, all their sugars from the tree.
Is this like a regular mushroom that you can eat?
This, as a matter of fact, is a mushroom you can eat. This is something you would find in any mushroom fair for about $200 a pound.
Wow, that's nice. Well, sample 99 might go missing a little bit later then. Mushrooms are great at breaking down wood. They can also break down other substances by secreting chemicals called enzymes.
So we're just utilizing the natural ability of fungi to break down similar compounds and toxins. In each one of these wells, we have extracted enzyme from a number of different species. This is our indicator, which will cause a color change if there's enzyme activity in the extract.
What are you looking for in the color change?
Darker color indicating more activity.
How long does this take normally?
Oh, it's a couple of hour incubation to get some of the ones with lower activity to show up.
Okay.
The very strong ones show up immediately.
Yeah,
But it takes longer. You see these two are starting to turn now.
Right.
They have activity. Those guys are feasting over. They're great candidates. We can purify those enzymes and use those enzymes directly on the spills.
On water or on land or something like that?
It can be done on water. It can be done on BP oil spill.
And what would be the byproduct of that? Would they leave something behind that was environmentally friendly or?
Environmentally more friendly.
Okay.
And other enzymes can break those down.
NASA is space and aeronautics. How does NASA come into play with something like this, which is more terrestrial based?
When we're up in space, what are you going to do with your waste when you're flying from here to Mars, say?
So there are far-reaching, benefits to NASA for the research that you're doing here. I love how something that's so simple can have so many benefits and so many uses for it.
And you can eat them.
And you can eat them. But the thing is, it's right in front of us. It's not like something that we had to go out and create. It's something that's right in front of us. And like I said before, we just repurpose it and use it to our advantage. Next on Masters of Innovation, a Jetsons-like commute is closer than you think.
And you're going to like it.
I already like it. What happens when you combine space technology with high-speed mass transit? Well, a startup company here at the NASA Research Park is working on that very question. And if they succeed, your morning commute may never be the same.
Hey, Jim.
Jerry.
Thanks for coming by.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's my pleasure. You know, I'm the CEO of SkyTran, and I'm always delighted to talk to people about SkyTran.
What is it exactly?
It's the Jetsons made into real life. It will actually take you from where you are to where you want to go without getting stuck in traffic. Very fast, very comfortable, relaxed. You can be watching television, being on your computer, sending emails, and you're going to like it.
Well, I already like it. Are you kidding? It sounds wonderful. This is a high-speed rail system, essentially. I mean, it's not going to just go at like a 40, 50 miles an hour. This thing can zip.
It can go up to 150 miles an hour.
Okay.
And we will go as fast as the passenger is comfortable with. And of course, as the system is used more and more, the system will probably start going faster and faster because people will be more comfortable with it.
We'll adapt to it as well.
Exactly.
How close are you to building something like in a city environment or even around here where you could test that?
Well, we're going to be building a full-scale SkyTran system here at NASA Ames Research Center. We use virtually no energy, and once we coat our guideways with solar panels, we'll probably be very close to energy net neutral.
SkyTran is a sophisticated transit system, and it'll need an advanced computer system to keep it safe.
That's why we're working with NASA, right? We want to make sure that computer system is safe and reliable.
This is where Robert Birch's expertise takes the driver's seat.
So here's a typical station. You walk up, get on, and board your vehicle. Here's the high-speed vehicles moving along, and then there's an off-ramp where the stations are. It'll be much safer than driving a car, I guarantee you.
Is there a complete urban plan that you have? Like
Sure.
how you have multiple, thousands of them?
And I'll show you a typical rush hour where we have about 5,000 vehicles. This is a wide shot of the whole city, or this is about a 10-mile network. And each of these circles are stations, and the vehicles are little squares here.
This would be impossible and expensive to really put out into the real world, wouldn't it?
Because it's so lightweight, it's 10 times cheaper than any bus or train system, and probably 100 times cheaper than building a highway. Modules are mass-produced in a factory, and then all you need is poles on the sidewalk, put up your steel guideway, and it all comes together like a Tinker Toys.
It'll have magnets all the way down the line? Is that how it'll work?
It would be too expensive to do it that way. The magnets are only in the vehicle. There's coils in the guideway, and when the magnets fly by the coils, it induces a magnetic field, which then lifts the vehicle.
And takes away the friction element of it and allows it to move much, much, much faster.
Think about it just like using your iPhone to reserve a movie, right? You put your destination to your phone, and it calls up a vehicle, and it tells you what time the vehicle will be at the station, or you tell the system what time you want the vehicle to arrive.
Now, could people have their own vehicles?
Absolutely. I think initially it'll start where everybody shares the vehicles, just like mass transit.
How close are you on this?
Basically, the system is ready to go. We just need to add water and mix.
Well, I hope you get it out there soon, because you'd be doing a great service to all of us out there who have to fight the daily commute. So Michael, I can see how this could benefit some of the companies advancing their technology, but how does this help NASA?
Bringing in the best ideas from people who exist to do different things than we are doing gives us a whole gamut of ideas about research and development that we wouldn't be looking at necessarily. That's why the park really serves as a bridge or a two-way street. We're disseminating the best of what we know, and we want to hear about where the cutting-edge industry and universities are in order to increase our ability to be more productive with the taxpayer-given dollars.
At the NASA Ames Research Center and NASA Research Park, scientists, engineers, and entrepreneurs are collaborating on what could be NASA's most vital mission to date, applying space technology for the preservation of our planet. Keeping our planet green and healthy for future generations is the next giant leap for mankind.